Hey, what's up guys, it's Pack, and so I'm gonna do a deck profile today on the Altergeist deck that I took to the 3v3 YCS with Team Sam and Triff Gaming. So without further ado, let's go. So first off, 3 of the green boy, 3 of the blue boy, 2 of the silk, 1 of the multi-faker, and 1 concurry, standard lineup. So for the hand traps, I decided to play 3 Imperm, 3 Ash. I think these are pretty standard, so not much to say about these. But I decided to play 2 of these at the YCS, and it was sort of a meta call, just because I knew that it would be really insane against the Lunalight deck. Like hitting the target from the Tiger is pretty good, and hitting the Yellow Martin to when it tries to before it attempts to bounce the Tiger back can be at the right time can be crucial to stopping the Lunalight plays. Against a Shaddoll deck, it actually comes up where you would DD Crow their fusion spell, so that when you Mole Seek attack directly and you send their window, for example, they don't get to add back their spell and trap. So DD Crow was pretty good. I think with the format changing, I don't know if it's gonna be as good. So I'm still gonna be testing and trying to figure out what's the next best card to play in spite of this. Of course, for consistency, you want to play 3 Extravagance, 2 Duality. Not much to say about this. I have seen Deceif's profile, which he was playing 3 Extravagance, 1 Duality, and 1 1-for-1. I think my new list is gonna play more hand traps and the 1-for-1 and cut the Duality, just because I think playing more hand traps lets you play around the blowout cards like Evenly Match and Lightning Storm. So having the hand traps in your hand means that even if after they evenly you or they Lightning Storm you, you still have cards in your hand to continue interrupting them as you play. And 1-for-1 is really insane when you play a good hand trap count. So I think that's something that I'll be testing, but I'll put out a new updated deck profile soon. I just want to show you guys what I played for the YCS. Just more Altergeist cards. So I played 1 Haunted Rock, 2 Manifestation, and 2 Protocol. So most of you know what these cards do, but I guess I'll just put the spotlight on Haunted Rock. This card was insane. This card literally says negate evenly, and so I think there's no reason why you shouldn't play it. Also, if you hard draw Mario and Faker turn 1, it lets you resolve Faker going first. And if you draw Mario, Faker, and any other Altergeist monster, it lets you end up on double Hexia. So this card is just absolutely insane. So I like this card a lot. Even I think turn 2 and turn 3, if you already have a spoofing set, you can go Mario, activate the rock, and then chain the spoofing to the rock to search Faker. And you don't have to discard, because Haunted Rock is a continuous trap, so it only discards on the resolution if it stays on the field. But because it left the field, you get the free Faker search, and because the trap card is activated, you get to automatically resolve Faker. So this card is insane.
No, I know. I mean,
of course, if this card said Altergeist, this would be the best deck in ever. Just but unfortunately it doesn't. But it's one of those cards you have to play for consistency, and it gives you access to Faker, which is one of your win cons.
I'm not one to be any different from that.
You also play the Solemn Brigade, minus Warning. I think these are just great going first and going second. I never miss this. And then striking the summon when against a Spiral deck, for example, when they try to go make Phoenix to pop your back row, you usually would strike the summon just so that they don't get the discard, because more often than not that discard can actually be super beneficial. But at the end of the day, it's still a judgment call. You have to kind of figure out what's left in their hand and if the discard matters or not, just so they can neg. But most of the time, if they've banished an assault or a rescue, they can go off. So I usually strike the summon from there. But not much to say about this. These cards are absolutely insane. You need this to play around blowout cards, and so it also is a spell CV3 interruption. So if you use these correctly, I feel that is what differentiates you as an Altergeist player. And so yeah, these cards are absolutely nuts. Oh, also with the lack of Red Reboot, or I guess with Red Reboot being at 1, it makes those cards even stronger. So, and now for the last 3 cards, the tech, the 3 main deck, cards that people weren't expecting. 2 anti-spell and 1 IO in the main. Anti-spell was like insane. Against Lunalight, they can't activate Tiger, they can't activate their spells, can't activate Perfume. So it was just like super nuts. They can't activate the Tenki spell. So anti-spell was insane. Not only that, against like for example the Shadal matchup, let's say they make you go first. Depends. Most Shadal deck would actually prefer to go first now. But let's say they make you go first and you set anti-spell, it's like automatically a wrap unless they draw El Shadal Fusion and a way to get the construct to dump Dragon to pop. But by doing that, like that line of play means that they're like already like I guess they have to like make really awkward plays to get to that route. So like anti-spell is really insane, and more often than not you have like a protocol or like a monster negate anyways to like negate the dragon popping your anti-spell, so you're like usually pretty good. And then the IO of course is like essentially like a pseudo anti-spell. It's at 1 for a reason, and this card is just like an absolute blowout. Like so many, like against Lightning Storm, against like a lot, because a lot of the like the really good decks right now, most of the power cards in their decks are spells, and so that's why you want to play cards that like stop the spells and slow down the game. Because for Altergeist control deck, you want to like control the tempo, and if you can do that correctly, then you should be able to like swing the game in your favor. Because Altergeist, when you start playing, you're automatically at a disadvantage because you don't get to like I guess combo off or like make big plays, where slowing the game down is like one of the win cons for the deck, is like just controlling the tempo. And like I said, if you can, these cards like allow you to like to do that. Now for the extra deck, of course the Team Sim token with Triff Gaming. You play triple Hexia. This card is like insane. This is like how you OTK. There's not much to say about this. There's actually a card in my side deck that I'll show you later that lets you summon this actually instead of Ultimate Falcon, and you can probably guess what it is, but I'll show like cool interaction that happened at the YCS. I didn't play the 1 Prime Banshee. This card is actually insane. Just not a lot of people use it, but what it does is instead of relinking into another Hexia, when you relink into the Prime Banshee and link the Prime Banshee off, it lets you like plus like 3, because Prime Banshee adds you the Faker to the hand, and then when Hexia hits the grave, it searches you any Altergeist card. So in that instance, you end up usually on like double Hexia Faker, and like that's enough to just like win you the game from there. So this card is like insane. The monster effect also like comes up like on the field at least, where you contribute any Altergeist monster on your field and special summon 1 from your deck to a zone that this card points to. And so like an interaction that I would do is I would resolve Faker and Faker summon the Mulseek, tribute the Mulseek to search either a Concurry or a Mario for the follow-up, and then summon either a Concurry or Silk to negate a card or to bounce a card. So this card is like really insane. It's like a toolbox, and it gives you access to all your Altergeist monsters through this. So this card is like pretty good. You need ways to like trigger Meluseek. So I play 1 Almirage and 3 Link Kuriboh. So the thing about this is the reason why I'm not playing like 3 Kuriboh and like 2-3 Almirage is because more often than not, you actually don't want to link off the Mulseek because you lose to the Ash. Unless you drew really well and had a spoofing too, another Altergeist card. And also when you link into Link Kuriboh or Almirage, you're also susceptible to Phantasma, which really hurts the deck because Silk targets. And not only that, you're also setting yourself up for a free Shadal Fusion from the opponent. So sometimes like the correct play is not to link it off, or like you would just either summon in face-up attack mode if you hard drew the protocol, or you just set it so that when they beat into it, you damage step search. So and that gets you the Faker, and so like that's like really good. So yeah, that's just something to like keep in mind of as you like think about whether or not you should link into Kuriboh. Some utility links: you play Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Unicorn, and then you play the Ningirsu. These are just utility cards just to like spot removal, get cards that are like really annoying. You have a destruction for the back row, you have a non-destruction targeted removal, and then you just have non-targeted removal and non-standard removal. So yeah, I like these a lot. Then I play my Link 4s, the 1 Avermax and the 1 Borolo Dragon. These are just like I said, more cards that like when you link into just to get rid of like problematic stuff. Like for example, like one of my opponents at the YCS made an Avermax against me, and I was able to have enough. I concurried his Avermax attack, and then I had enough resources to make my own board load and just take his Avermax, and then after that it was just like straight game. So that was like a really cool interaction. Also, when Borload takes Avermax, and then during the following turn, when Borload's effect would send Avermax to the grave, Avermax also wouldn't trigger because it says like if this card you control is sent to the grave. And because you took control of it, it's no longer in your opponent's possession, which means that Avermax wouldn't get the spin effect. So that's actually like really insane when you out the Avermax through Borload. Then you play 2 Falcon Boy. It comes up sometimes. Sometimes this is like the win con. You can probably guess I'm playing Waking the Dragon in my side deck. But yeah, Big Falcon is like super nice. But most people like either don't have an out and they automatically lose, or they do have an out, so it's like iffy. So more times than not, I usually just summon the Hexia off Waking the Dragon, and that line of play is usually much better. Or you just summon the Faker from the deck, because Waking the Dragon says from the deck or from your extra deck, so that's a really cool interaction. For the side deck, what differed from my PPG list is I no longer main evenly match. So what was different than my PPG list is I no longer main evenly match. And one of the main reasons was it's just like, I don't know, it was something that I just wanted to like test out. I realized that like going second, I was playing like DD Crow, which is inherently, if I time it correctly, I should be able to stop a spiral turn anyways. And so like evenly match for me was like essentially saying, hey, you make your full board and I resolve evenly match and I win the game. But usually the problem is you need to draw like an Ash evenly, or like an Imperm evenly, or like a form of disruption plus evenly to bait out the Triget anyways. So my thought process was like, why not just, instead of playing the evenly match in the main, just play like maybe DD Crow, which would like stop their turn anyways because they like don't get access to the master plan. And then after that you would have enough advantage to like just I guess slow down the game and win from there. So yeah, like I said, I think not having evenly in the main, I didn't really miss it. But there was one time where like, dang, if I saw it, I would have auto won the game against the Shadal deck. But it's just because Shadals have like no out for like the evenly match. In terms of like more hand traps, I played 3 Nibiru, and that's just to respect the Salad matchup. I think that deck is like still like really insane, and like the consistency is like off the charts. And so Nibiru is there to respect that, as well as to like respect the Rocket deck. I know Shuping said that like he tested so many times like getting Nibiru and continue playing, but like that I've like tested the deck myself recently because I'm thinking about potentially playing it for YCS North Carolina. But it's just like you need to draw a really insane hand to even like play around Nibiru, because there are some hands where you just can't and you lose through the Nibiru. And so and then if you have like a Nibiru Ash, it's like over. Also, Nibiru Imperm is like insane too. So like let's say you let them make the Appaloosa, you let them make the full board, and then you go Nibiru, they go Appaloosa, then you just Imperm and you just win the game from there. So this card is like pretty nice. You play 3 DD Crow, just like turn stoppers. I don't know how I feel about DD Crow at the moment, because I feel like if you stop their turn and you don't have the follow-up to continue playing, or if you brick per se, then like Droll doesn't really do a good job because you technically neg 1. So I don't know, I'm still testing, but I'll see whether or not I'll continue playing this card. Don't get me wrong, it's like super insane, but there's just like sometimes where like you stop the turn, but then you don't have like a solid follow-up to like slow down the game. So it's like, even though you stop the turn, they still have like 4 cards left in their hand to like continue playing the next turn. And then just to like respect the other back row decks, I played 2 Heavy Stormduster. And so like against Gru, this card came in clutch. Even against like the Shadal matchup, sometimes like they have a lot of set cards and you like just force out a lot of things with Heavy Stormduster. It also like hits like the Meltdown, which can be really annoying for you. So I don't know, I like Duster more than Storm. Storm was originally in my like list, but then in testing I realized like it was a really bad top deck, while like Storm Duster, like top decking Storm Duster felt a lot better than top decking Lightning Storm, just because I have a lot of like continuous traps, for example like Anti-Spell, Protocol, which means I inherently wouldn't have a lot of set cards to even resolve Lightning Storm, so Lightning Storm would be dead more often than not. But yeah, overall like Heavy Storm Duster was pretty nice. Then I played 2 Waking the Dragon. I would say this card is insane. I'm probably gonna like bump it up to 3. Like one interaction that happened was I had 2 set, 1 protocol, 1 Waking the Dragon, and I had a Mulseek which was linked into Link Removal, so I have Faker in my hand, and this was like public knowledge. So he went Twin Twister and he popped both my Backrow. I chained the protocol, and so on resolution, Waking the Dragon got popped, and then because the trap was activated, Faker activated in hand. So I went Chain Link 1 Waking the Dragon, Chain Link 2 Faker, which means Waking the Dragon would resolve and it can't be Ash. And this is Faker's effect from the hand, so it's not like they could Ash Faker's effect from the hand anyways. I summoned Hexia from my extra deck, and then I automatically, and then Chain Link 1 would resolve, which meant I summoned Faker directly under Hexia, and then new chain, I summoned the Soliloquist, and so after that it was just like, even though he popped both my set, like I was still in a winning position, and when Hexia leaves the graveyard, I'll get another plus. So it was just like insane. So that's why like I think Waking the Dragon is like really good. I think also like I've noticed that a lot of people are maining Cosmic Cyclone now, and so if they shotgun it and it just hit like Waking the Dragon, like you just go like they go -1, and then you go usually +1, +2 if you get the Hexia effect search. So like Waking the Dragon is like pretty good. And the thing is, sometimes you can like bluff Waking the Dragon even if you don't have it. So I think this card is like a really good way to like mind game your opponent. So yep. The third anti-spell, and then 1 Pankratops. Not much to say about Pankratops. It was a side in every single game. I knew I was gonna go second, so this card is just insane. You automatically go +1. Not much to say. I liked it a lot. What's up, guys? So thank you for tuning into the deck profile. Please like, subscribe, and pat that video as a thumbs up. See ya.